On April 11, 2025, officers with the Pinellas County, Florida Sheriff's Office, including Deputy Alexandra Mitchell, responded to a call about suspicious persons looking into a residence. Sean Mahmood, also known as Neon Sean, was filming at the scene when the officers arrived, as was a couple out for a walk. Mr. Mahmood filmed the encounter that followed, and it was also partially captured on body camera footage.
Sheriffs are coming to stop you. I don't know whoever they just talked to at that house.
That house?
The house that was right there on the corner.
Yeah.
That's them right there. I'm filming.
Oh, okay. Yeah. How's it going? It's going all right. Where are you guys coming from? Where are we coming from? Yeah. We live right here. Well, no, not right here. Okay. Somebody's complaining over there about maybe somebody looking around the house. We're just kind of trying to figure out who it is and what's going on. Yeah, no, never went to a house. Okay. We're just walking, having fun. Okay. You got any kind of identification on you? I can tell you my name, birthday, and everything like that. Okay. Yeah, you got any ID on you?
Any kind of woke up.
No.
Any kind of altercation?
No, not the same thing.
What?
Not the same thing.
Not the same thing?
No. I don't know.
Aren't you tired? You were just out over there like an hour ago. I'd be sleeping if I could right now.
We give our information. I mean, it's just, we don't have no warrant or nothing like
That's
that.
fine. So right now we've got a call for service on the corner right there saying that they thought someone was breaking into the house or potentially were on it looking at a ladder. Okay. So they told us it's subjects who were walking westbound.
He saw us. He was right beside us. I mean, we weren't doing anything. Yeah, I just saw you guys walking this way. Yeah. I didn't know what was going on before. Okay. So that's something. Yeah. So
because we're investigating, call for service right now.
Yeah.
So you guys are detained and we'll get started.
Alright.
And hopefully it's nothing, and it's just someone who thinks they saw something that was nothing.
Okay.
And then we'll get on our merry way. So.
Yeah, definitely. So, alright. So you don't have a deal or anything on you? Or not Florida ID? No, I don't want to get my, information. I don't think I did anything wrong.
Then you can go to jail for failing to identify yourself.
The officers tell the citizens that they're being detained while they investigate the so-called call for service. And when one of the citizens says that he does not want to provide his name, Deputy Mitchell threatens to arrest him for failure to identify. As we have discussed many times before here on ATA, the Supreme Court held in the 1979 case of Brown v. Texas that an individual may not be detained and required to identify themselves absent reasonable suspicion to believe that they're involved in criminal activity. Here, based on the officer's statements during the interaction and court documents, there is no indication that dispatch provided any description of the allegedly suspicious individuals, meaning the detention was based solely on the fact that they were found walking near the location of the reported so-called suspicious activity. Florida courts have held that an individual's proximity to the scene of a crime is insufficient to establish reasonable suspicion on its own, particularly when coupled with a vague or incomplete description of the suspect. For instance, in the 2008 case of Gene v. State, the 4th District Court of Appeal of Florida found insufficient reasonable suspicion to justify the detention of a group of individuals who were found within a few blocks of a crime scene shortly after a burglary was reported. In reaching this conclusion, the court noted that there was no clear description of the suspects and that despite the fact that the individuals were found in close proximity to the scene of the crime, there was no evidence that anyone was acting suspiciously or attempting to flee. In this instance, the quote-unquote suspects were in close proximity to the reported suspicious activity, but there was no other evidence supporting their relationship to the scene, and they actually stopped and waited to speak with the police rather than flee. Accordingly, it is likely that a court would conclude there was insufficient evidence to establish the reasonable suspicion necessary for a detention and identification.
Are you not trying to give you a hard time?
No, me neither. Okay, yeah, I can give you my name. Yeah, it's Thomas.
What's your last name?
Lowry, L-W-R-E-Y.
Oh, we just got out and go for a walk, Alright, how about you?
I'm not identifying.
Huh?
I'm not gonna identify myself.
Okay. I mean, Florida is a state where you have to identify yourself.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. So I just did it just to be easy, you know what I mean? But I know we don't have to give you it.
Is there a reason? Like, you got warrants or what?
Suspect me I have a warrant? Why would I have a warrant?
Because usually people that don't need them.
Or I like to be secured.
What route did you guys take?
I mean, no, I just don't want to get my ID.
We scratch sometimes.
Good so far?
No, literally just.
Where?
So
What house did you guys come from?
if you don't identify yourself, then we'll just have somebody come and bring a fingerprint scanner and we'll identify you that way.
The area was that call. So.
I'm going to get my fingerprint.
We just got out, you know what I mean? We were just talking.
I mean, why are you being so difficult, man?
It's not being difficult. I just don't want to. You shouldn't take it as being difficult.
Well, if I'm investigating a potential crime, then yeah. Can you run over here if you've got a fingerprint scanner?
I have.
I'll get the body cam footage. You can request the body cam footage.
Yeah, everything's public record.
They threatened you with arrest, so you were compelled.
Oh, it is you. Sean? Oh, dude, like did you shave?
Yeah.
I'm like, it's not you.
Well,
It is
he had
you.
longer beard or something.
Alright, so what's going on, guys? Oh no, we were just out. I guess somebody said that they thought we were trying to break into a house or something. I didn't even go over near that house. Nothing like that. We just got out. We walked. We got into a wreck, and for her therapy, we just go out and walk when she can't sleep and stuff. And
I got you.
So
When was that? Like recent?
yeah, just a few minutes ago.
No, the wreck.
The wreck happened back in March 2024.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So just
She
to get
got
out of the
seriously-
house, like when you're
When she can't
restless
sleep.
night.
I
Yeah.
can't stay in one position very long.
I got you. Shoot, I feel like that too. At the time. And what are you doing, man? Just riding?
I don't know what I do.
Yeah.
I don't think you did anything, but
You didn't have an ID on you?
No,
No? Okay, let me see your right hand.
that's all right.
Okay, do you want to go to jail for obstruction?
If that's what you want to do to me.
If you don't want to identify yourself, then you can go to jail.
Mr. Mahmood refuses to identify himself or provide his fingerprints, and the officers place him under arrest. In the 1985 case of Hayes v. Florida, the Supreme Court determined that officers cannot take a suspect into a police station or otherwise impose a custodial detention for fingerprinting on mere reasonable suspicion, and that probable cause, consent, or judicial authorization is required for officers to take such an action. However, the court also noted that the Fourth Amendment could permit seizures for the purpose of fingerprinting if police have reasonable suspicion the person has committed a particular crime, there is a reasonable basis to think that fingerprints will quickly confirm or dispel that suspicion, and the procedure is carried out without delay. Well, here, it is unlikely that Mr. Mahmood's fingerprints would have any bearing on whether he was involved in the suspicious activity under investigation. And, as we discussed earlier in this episode, it is improbable that the officers had reasonable suspicion to believe that he was engaged in any criminal activity. While the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals held in the 2015 case of Moore v. Peterson that an individual can be arrested under the state's obstruction statute, which is codified under Section 843.02 of the Florida statutes, if they fail to provide identification during a lawful investigative detention based on reasonable suspicion, there likely was no reasonable suspicion to detain Mr. Mahmood in this instance. Accordingly, there is a strong argument that the officers did not have probable cause to arrest Mr. Mahmood for obstruction based on his refusal to identify himself or submit to fingerprinting.
don't know his last name. I only know his first name as Sean.
Let's take your backpack off because I don't want to have to cut it, okay?
All right.
You want to just unhook it?
Yeah, pull it. If you might have, there you go. It's all right.
Come on, man. Just give your last name.
I don't.
I only know your first.
Yeah, I know, but there's no reason to ID me.
I already explained to you why we had to identify everyone.
You don't got to identify me. I wasn't the one that these people pointed out. I'm here filming. You got a supervisor?
I do have one, yeah. Got lots of supervisors. So, either you identify yourself or I break your finger. What would you like?
Deputy Mitchell tells Mr. Mahmood that he can either identify himself or she will break his finger. Based on court documents, this threat appears to be a response to the fact that Mr. Mahmood was allegedly tensing his finger to prevent fingerprinting. Accordingly, Deputy Mitchell seems to be saying that if he does not identify himself, she will break his finger so she can forcibly take his fingerprint. In the 1989 case of Graham v. Connor, the Supreme Court held that force used in the course of an arrest, investigatory stop, or other seizure must be reasonably proportionate to the need for that force, as measured by the severity of the suspected offense, whether the suspect posed an immediate threat to officers or others, and whether the suspect was actively resisting or attempting to flee. Additionally, as the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals explained in the 1986 case of Leslie v. Ingram, courts in the circuit also assess reasonableness by examining the need for the application of force, the relationship between that need and the amount of force used, and the extent of the injury inflicted. Even assuming for the sake of argument that Mr. Mahmood was legally required to identify himself, Deputy Mitchell's threat of intentional bone breaking to overcome alleged quote-unquote tensing during fingerprinting is nearly impossible to justify as constitutionally reasonable and necessary force, because the suspected offense at issue was not severe, Mr. Mahmood's refusal to identify did not inherently create an immediate safety threat, the stated objective of the proposed force was evidentiary compliance rather than preventing flight or neutralizing danger, and the threatened level of injury was grossly disproportionate to any legitimate need for force.
Oh, well, if you want to break my finger,
You want extra
that's
charges?
ridiculous. I mean, that seems like
You
excessive
can go
force.
to the jail as a John Doe and then
Well,
not be released or get any kind of bond.
If I'm going to jail, then, I'll identify myself. But
You are going to
right.
jail, so you can identify yourself.
right now, I don't think I'm going to jail.
Well, you're in
Come on.
handcuffs, so we can take your photo. We can do it that way too.
Yeah, my
Want
fault.
to take his helmet off for me?
With this in here?
I got the thing in my pocket.
Alright, when we grab your stuff, I'll throw it in there.
Deputy Mitchell. Alright, I don't want to put him right front.
Just hang with them for a sec. Help her search.
Like a chain from your wallet? Okay. So you got a knife in your pocket, so I asked you about that. Usually.
Alright, gonna poke you.
Any drugs in your pocket?
No.
I haven't spent towards the car, so we put everything on the place.
This is your chain?
Yep. Both your body cameras are going.
Mm-hmm. You good?
You check the coin pocket when you send it.
Which one?
Like the full coin one. Just the names are a little bit tight to the wall.
Might be a lighter in there.
Good?
Yep.
Anything concealed for the stuff that you didn't find? So I don't want to have to give you extra charges for anything concealed.
I'm not worried about anything.
I can get his name.
Huh?
I can get his name. He's does he? He's always filming.
Yeah, he was filming when we were on that
Yeah.
last one.
Jose had gone out with him. He's usually actually like really polite with us, but he just doesn't ever like to. Alright, let me work through this too. Did you give an ID?
Yeah.
He did?
ID, they're good. Yeah.
You checked them both?
I didn't check her. I believe she did. Mitchell did.
I don't know if she ever did. Mitchell, were you able to get her ID or no?
Yeah, I already, she's 1054, 10.
Cool. Thank you. Was he 5429 too?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys even just be up front with me, man? Did you guys even just walk up to that fence line, like right where you parked?
Yeah.
That property there. Did you walk up to that fence line, like look over or anything like that?
I just got out. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That's all I did.
Okay. Did you walk around to help her out of the car or anything?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, man.
I mean, this guy didn't do anything. I'm telling you. He came same time we did. Like,
I understand that.
Weird.
I'm familiar with him. Do you know him?
No, my first time ever seeing that.
I'm familiar with him. The reason he's going though is because always identify yourself to us. That's obstruction if you don't, especially when we're doing an investigation, which we are right now.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I mean,
I just don't want to give no hard times.
Yeah.
I understand
Did you put him in the call?
rights and stuff. I understand that.
Him?
No, I can't. No.
Yeah. But you got his ID, you said?
Yep.
Oh, that's good. All right. You guys are good. Continue your walk. Just...
I apologize.
No, you're good. Just, I guess, be careful where you park. Some people just...
I understand.
Even if it seems sketchy, other than that, yeah, you're good to go. All right.
Following Mr. Mahmoud's arrest, he was charged with 1 count of obstructing an officer without violence in violation of Section 843.02 of the Florida statutes. As of the date of writing this episode, Mr. Mahmoud's case remains pending and is scheduled for a jury trial on February 4th, 2026. Overall, Deputy Mitchell and the other responding Pinellas County deputies get an F for detaining multiple citizens without reasonable suspicion, arresting Mr. Mahmoud without probable cause, and threatening extreme force to compel fingerprinting. As discussed earlier, the Fourth Amendment requires that officers have individualized reasonable suspicion to detain an individual and demand identification. And the fact that a quote-unquote call for service was received does not automatically authorize officers to detain and identify everyone who happens to be nearby. Here, dispatch provided no meaningful description of the allegedly suspicious individuals, so the detention was based on proximity alone, rather than specific articulable facts tying any particular person to criminal activity, which is exactly the kind of generalized suspicion that courts reject. That lack of reasonable suspicion also undermined the arrest, because officers cannot transform a legally unsupported detention into probable cause by criminalizing a person's refusal to identify absent reasonable suspicion. Most strikingly, Deputy Mitchell's threat to break Mr. Mahmoud's finger to obtain fingerprints was an extreme and disproportionate escalation that is nearly impossible to justify under the objective reasonableness standard, given the minor nature of the suspected offense, the absence of an immediate safety threat, and the sheer severity of the threatened injury in service of an evidentiary goal. This interaction highlights how quickly constitutional protections collapse when officers treat a call for service as blanket authority to detain, arrest, and threaten grievous bodily harm to compel compliance, instead of grounding their actions in individualized suspicion and proportionate, objectively necessary force. Mr. Mahmoud gets an A for respectfully asserting his Fourth Amendment position without escalating the encounter, remaining composed and nonviolent throughout the detention, and complying once officers made clear that they were taking him into custody, thereby preserving the dispute for judicial review rather than turning it into a physical confrontation. As discussed earlier, citizens are not required to identify themselves absent a lawful detention supported by reasonable suspicion, and Mr. Mahmoud's refusal was firm but controlled, without threats, flight, or physical aggression. When the deputies proceeded with arrest and processing anyway, he did not resist, he did not attempt to flee, and he allowed the encounter to move into the legal system, where a court will determine whether the detention, the fingerprint demand, and the obstruction arrest were supported by the constitutionally required level of suspicion. I commend Mr. Mahmoud for contesting the officer's demands calmly, for avoiding any conduct that could create an independent safety justification for force, and for confronting the officers verbally rather than resorting to physical resistance or violence. Let us know if there is an interaction or legal topic that you would like us to discuss in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out Audit the Court if you're interested in exploring the legal nuance beyond the body cam.